Hello and welcome to Big Talk live from the nation's capital. My name is Idikan Michael and the pleasure to have you join us in 2025 as we begin the edition of the big conversation here on Big Talk. Of course, issues of the political, economic restructuring is still an ongoing conversation in Nigeria, and we'll continue to follow the path to see what the actors are doing, what differences has been made in their political arena and the socio-economic welfare of the country, and getting the development and the dividends of democracy back to the people, which are the people who has a voice in the world of democracy. It is my pleasure to have you join us tonight on the show as we begin to look at the promises of 2025. A lot had played out in 2024. A lot of actors had given, even the leadership had said 2025 will be a promising year. But the question is, can we cast a mind to those things that hinder development and the growth of our nation for 2024? How would 2025 be different? The major political parties are having their crises, economic problems in the nation, issue of bad governance, issues of a public confidence is derailing day in, day out. A lot of those factors continues to be what many Nigerians have looked up for in 2025. But the president had said that the things that we had suffered or we saw in 2024 will be things of the past. He said inflation will be reduced at 15%. He also made mention that he will tackle youth unemployment and that the reforms the administration has taken so far will yield good results and the impact will be felt within the Nigerian people. And tonight on the show, we're looking at all of this concern. The election ahead of us in 2025, the readiness of the political parties ahead of the 2027, it looks that now that we have 2025, it's just 2 years to go for us to head swing to the ballot again for the national election and some governorship election in this country. Tonight, we'll look at what 2025 really promises us as a nation. My guest tonight is a member of People's Democratic Party, David Itopa. Thanks so much for joining us on the show, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, Michael, for having me today.
Yes.
Happy New Year. And Happy New Year also to Nigerians. It is my prayer that the Egyptians we experienced.
We saw yesterday.
We saw yesterday.
We succeed on normal. Are you sure your party is not still the Egyptians we saw yesterday?
My party.
Because those that said, your party drew us backward years back.
We are beginning to see the statistics don't lie, data don't lie. We are beginning to see that those who say that we were the Egyptians of yesterday, we're just.
We're looking for change.
Yeah, we're looking for change in the wrong direction. Change can either be positive or negative. And so at the end of the day, Nigerians bought for themselves what they wanted. They wanted the negative. They wanted this change so badly that nobody was asking questions. And at the end of the day, you and I, Nigerians and everybody can feel the brunt of the change. And I don't think anybody, you don't need any soothsayer to tell you whether the change is negative or positive. It is glaring, it is clear that the change we sought, or this change that the majority of the Nigerians sought, was a negative change, and Nigerians are meant to bear the brunt of such change. But like I will always say, Nigerians will learn every day, and by 2027, by the special grace of God, we pray for long life. And by the special grace of God in 2027, these Egyptians that we are seeing now, we'll see them no more.
Because this government came in with renewed hope, and they said, look, that we had a political hardship for 2015, what do you call it, from that time till about 2023, and a lot of consideration about what it means for us to have to move forward. And if we must move forward, the underlying issues that they brought hope. Do you feel that this hope for 2 years of administration has yielded impact?
I want to quickly say something here, Mike, and then of course to Nigerians, that the modus operandi of the ruling party, as it were, which is APC, has always been falsehood and propaganda. So if a party that pride itself in change, we started by talking about the change they promised in 2015, and then if a party that pride itself, in fact, I can remember clearly that APC came into power in 2015 on 3 core mandates. You talk about fighting corruption, fighting insecurity, and economic prosperity. And at the end of the day, I do not think that these things are too hard to see. We can now see that the APC has been a shadow of itself. The promises were just vague. The promises were empty. In fact, they got to power without even knowing what to do. So they were more like They were just desperate for power, to bear the name and say, okay, look, we are once in power. They have absolutely nothing to show for it. And then coming to 2023, in the case of Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led APC, is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to dissociate himself from the promises of the APC between 2015 and 2023?
He's saying that he was not involved.
No, there is no way.
He was not the leader.
There is no way President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will tell Nigerians in good conscience that he was not involved in the affairs of the APC from 2015 to 2023. As a matter of fact, it is a well-known fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was very pivotal, very, very much involved in the processes that saw the emergence of the then president, Muhammadu Buhari. So the both of them are like Siamese twins. And I do not think that from what we've witnessed between 2015 and 2023 will be any difference with what we are seeing now in the course of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency. As a matter of fact, it has even gone worse. I hate to say this, but I think we are now missing President Muhammadu Buhari. It seems like Buhari is now a better person.
But they said they inherited a very fragile economy from that government. So the Senate President yesterday said it looks that Nigeria was on a life support. The president needed to take urgent action for the country's economy to be entirely reset, that we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect different results. And that's why this government are taking this part.
Mike, thank you for bringing in the issue of the Senate President, Akpabio, into this. Was Akpabio not largely involved in the runnings of the last administration? As a minister. As a minister. As a matter of fact, Nigerians are aware of the off your mic saga in the National Assembly. In fact, Nigerians are aware that the ministry he oversaw then was one of the bad eggs, rotten eggs in that administration. You see, let me tell you something, Mike, and of course to Nigerians. Politicians are fond of bamboozling Nigerians with words. And when you seem to want to catch them from this angle, they come out through this angle and say, oh no, it was because I was fasting, I did not add prayers, that was why this one happened, and now we are going to add prayers. Can you even dissociate fasting and prayer? No, the both of them come hand in hand. So what I'm trying to say is this: be it President of the Senate, Akpabio, or be it the promises of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or be it the promises of Shettima, all I am telling you that all these people are wrapped in one cycle, in one embryo, which is what? The APC. And they cannot dissociate themselves from the failures and the tragedy of the APC. So it is all falsehood and propaganda, nothing else.
Do you feel that the reforms that they have taken will not yield positive impact? They will tell you that Portugal refinery is operational, Warri refinery is operational, Dangote refinery is operational. So if we entirely had abandoned fuel subsidy, we can now know that things are beginning to take shape, and that there will be a lot of differences by reducing food inflation, crashing to 15%, and even to reducing inflation to over 33.4%. For 5.
Our people will always say that a Saturday that will be a weekend that will be good will be Thursday. In the 18 months or so of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency, what has his reforms done to Nigerians? I mean, we don't need to start, deceiving ourselves. Nigerians can. One of the colossal mistakes of this administration was the first subsidy policy that was not, thought after. The man just came on the day of the swearing without even thinking it over, without any.
But your party has subscribed to subsidy removal.
My party subscribed to subsidy.
Even Peter Obi.
Not even Peter Obi. I don't talk about Peter Obi, but let's talk about my party. But if I could remember vividly, and if my memory serves me correctly, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said, look, first subsidy will be eased out. What is going to be in phases is not just going to be outrightly. And this is where leadership differs from propaganda. A man who knows his onions, who knows that, look, Nigeria's economy is largely informal, which is dependent on energy consumption. I think about 75 to 80% of Nigeria's economy is largely dependent on the consumption of energy. So if you remove you are bound to have myriads of problems. You are bound to have a near total collapse of the economy, which is what we are seeing now. Did you see you witnessed the last celebration, the Christmas celebration, that few privileged Nigerians and support the probably small. I am telling you that the ordinary Nigerians do not even believe in Mr. President and his reforms no more. Do you tell someone who goes to bed on a daily basis on empty stomach to believe in reforms? Do you tell someone that cannot sleep with his two eyes closed to believe in reforms? By the way, what are these reforms meant to achieve? Are they not meant to achieve the ease of livelihood? Are they not meant to achieve security of lives and properties in Nigeria? The other day we heard that there is another insecurity group that has sprung up again in the north. I mean, these things are not too difficult to see. Nigerians have lost any form of trust or belief or hope in their renewed hope agenda. As far as I'm concerned, the words on the streets is that it's a hopeless agenda.
So all of those considerations that, I mean, because when he was speaking at the presidential media chat recently, he was speaking like a technocrat, at one who is on top of the job. Even Ruben, as you know, colleague who had, I mean, one of those who hosted that media chat said, no, he's doing, he's aware of the decision he's taking compared to the last administration, where it looks that the president wasn't too familiar with all of these policies of government. So he said, I want the open market. I want a free situation where people can compete, a willing buyer, willing seller, and all of those mechanisms that it looks that we are not familiar with all of those economic bases. But I needed to bring this up to be conscious of the fact that we have to get through the better days.
Let me tell you, Mike, perception matters a lot. You can greet me good morning at 1 minute past 12, and most people consider it as, of course, it's good morning. It depends on which angle you are looking at it from. But the truth is that it is his opinion that he thinks the president knows what he's doing. Yes, to an extent, I want to agree that Mr. President knows exactly what he's doing. Because if you look at my own takeout, and of course, by the words on the streets, because we sample opinions, my own takeout from that presidential media chat is that I do not give a damn about how Nigerians feel. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That is my own takeout from that.
You feel it was arrogant,
yes, exactly.
in approach?
Because he did not provide solutions, immediate solutions to the sufferings of Nigerians. My brother, you need to see how Nigerians are suffering out there. Nigerians can no longer, to feed once in a day is a problem. I am telling you. This has nothing to do with political party affiliation. This is just being plain facts. That is it. So coming to tell us that Mr. President knows what he is doing, of course that is his own perception or opinion about, and I would like to even agree, the man knows what he's doing. He doesn't give a damn about Nigerians. But he cares about politics.
Do you feel that a man who cares about politics will start from 2023 just on assumption of office to be bringing policies? You feel that is not people-centric enough to be making all of those policies without being scared of the next election? Because those would have probably said, it looks that he would have used 2023 to 2025, 26 just to appease the conscience of Nigerians, just to get 2027 election. But he's taking this tough decision without giving consideration to the next election.
Have you heard of Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, where he gathered some of his kitchen cabinets, top powerful men in his government, and then he brought a chicken and plucked out all the feathers of the chicken. And the chicken was almost stricken to death, bleeding. And then he brought out some grains from his pocket and then started dropping the grains on the ground. And as helpless as the chicken was, seeing that it was actually this man that plucked me to near-death situation, still started following Joseph Stalin. And then in the end he said, this is how you treat the masses. What am I saying? There are various strategies, different approaches to political gains. And some have adopted the Stalinism school of thought, which is weaponizing poverty to get what you want to get. So at the end of the day, all these things are not really those who know, those who are well informed, know what their plans are. We know what their strategies are. The strategy has always been the strategy of the APC, right from the days of Muhammadu Buhari. It has always been to weaponize poverty, so that at the end of the day, when there is election, you are bringing in macaroni, you are bringing in spaghetti, 20 naira indomie, and all those things, so that people will say, "Oh, let us get these things and sell our vote." This is it. But I am telling you that even that strategy is dead on arrival, because Nigerians know better. Nigerians are wiser. And in 2027, Nigerians is going to be a referendum between the Nigerian people and the APC government.
The APC still says we are popular on ground.
No, APC,
they have won recent elections in Edo.
How did they
won in Ondo election.
Do you call the election in Edo State a free and fair election?
But your party used to do the same. You used to win many. When you were the ruling party, you won many states.
I have no information about that.
You won many states within your party.
There is no fact where I am fact.
But you won many states. Sometimes through many means. Through
the ballot. That's because we were popular. That is because life under the PDP administration. The Obasanjo years, the Yar'Adua years, and the Geg years.
So you say APC are not learning from PDP?
It was bearable. Nigerians were living their best life then. So that is why it was easy for Nigerians to vote for PDP across line. But since the emergence of APC, what have we had? Propaganda, suffering, anguish, insecurity.
So you feel they are not popular on ground?
No, they are not popular.
They have structure.
Propaganda sway you. They
have structures everywhere.
But let me tell you. You are talking about structure
because your party is even divided. So they are saying that they are stronger than your party.
I know you.
That's what they said.
They are not stronger than our party. And I will tell you this: if they are stronger than the PDP, they will not have been throwing stones at our houses. They will not be planting individuals to cause chaos in our party. It is because they understand that the PDP is a party that is rooted to the cause of the Nigerian people. It is a party that is rooted.
So you feel that
to the progress of the people. So if they do not plant people in our party, if they do not plant,
what do you mean by plant? What do you mean by planting people in your party?
Are we not?
Your party is one of the oldest political parties in this country.
Are we not seeing selfish leaders who are neither here nor there, who are trying to paddle two canoes together, so to say?
Is it wrong to give appointment to your party member?
Yes.
Is it wrong for the president to give an appointment?
That was a strategic move, and I remember telling you.
Is it not a move on inclusive governance?
Oh, I don't.
People come together to work.
I do not see that.
If you are competent enough, anybody from another party can call you to work.
Let me tell you, during the Obasanjo days, we had the likes of Senator Benny Diobi from the ANPP working with the PDP. Oh, a fine gentleman, by the way. One of the finest politicians we've ever had from the Southeast. Gentle, reserved, very, very, very suave, an intelligent man. Nobody in the history of Nigeria can tell me that we saw or we had cases where Senator Ben Ndiobi was causing problems for his party. The likes of the late sage Bola Ige. Obasanjo gave him an appointment. And there was nobody in the history of this democracy that would tell me that you can point a finger or lay an accusing finger on Chief Bola Ige of blessed memory, causing problems in his party to aid the PDP. Now that is where we define governance of inclusivity. But what do we have today? We have people who are hell-bent on destroying the party that gave them life. Is that governance of is that government of
at whose failure is all of this happening? Because you have leadership of your party who are not forward thinking and taking action decisive enough, and you shouldn't be pushing the blame of incompetent leadership within your party to the ruling party.
I do not subscribe to the fact that we have incompetent leadership in the party. What I do subscribe is that, look, because of how the party originated, come about, because of how the party is, it is not a party that one man can wake up and take decisions. And then we have people that have been largely planted within the leadership of the party to cause chaos in the party. But as I speak to you, we have started weeding them out one by one. The other day, the court just gave Right Honorable SK Ude Okoye a very beautiful judgment to take over as the national secretary of the party and sacked the former man who is neither here nor there, who is known to have been, playing hanky-panky in the party. And as I speak to you, Right Honorable S.K. Ude Okoye has resumed the party. He has even addressed the press yesterday as the national secretary of the party. And I know that he's a man true to his words. He is going to try his best. He is going to make sure he moves in swiftly and reform the party. As we know, I know many will say, how can he reform the party when he's not the chairman? But let me also tell you that our party constitution recognizes the national secretary as the head, as the administrative head of the party. It gives him so much power.
But he has to work. But he has to work hand in hand with the chairman.
We give him so many powers to drive the necessary change and reforms in the party.
But the chairman is the chief executive officer of the party.
Our party is not a one-man business.
So the chairman or the secretary can work on his own without the chairman.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a national secretary, and knowing the kind of person Right Honorable S.K. Ude Okoye is, he possesses the aura to galvanize people on his side to work in the interest of the party, and not those ones that want to destroy the party. I am telling you that going forward, you are going to see a rebirth of the NWC, and those NWC members that feel they want to be the clog in the wheel of progress of the PDP. We will see what's going to happen.
Well, we are still watching to see the development within your party. How do you rate the Muslim ticket, Vice President Shettima, in which it looks that he has been taking some shots from the north, looking at the policies of government, certain policies of government, which the Northerners have said, it looks that we are not protecting our interests and all of this consideration. But in a way, the Muslim ticket, was it a problem, General?
First of all, the Muslim ticket was always going to be a problem in Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria, where Nigeria is largely a secular state. So a Muslim country would have painted a picture of somewhat an Afghanistan-like kind of state, or a Pakistani-like kind of state, or an Iranian kind of state. No. Nigeria is a secular state. And as a matter of fact, I think the total number of Christians, Muslims, and other religions in Nigeria are almost at par with each other. So you cannot clearly say Nigeria is a Muslim state, and you cannot also clearly say Nigeria is a Christian state or an atheist state for that matter. So what we practice here is more or less like secularism, and so that is why we have constitutions to guide the Nigerian people. And we do not have any holy book to guide Nigeria that we refer to as Nigerian constitution. We refer to it's more or less like the coming of the people to draft a constitution, a document, a working document to guide the country. So first of all, that ticket was always going to pose a big problem to the Nigerian state, and we are already seeing it. And let me tell you something: the Lagos boys have pocketed Shettima, whether you like it or not. He can deny all he wants to. But we are saying that he's not even visible in the day-to-day running of the party.
He's a competent former governor of the state, senator, and all of those pedigree.
What is his input in the Nigerian system? Except he only comes out to visit people, to send condolence messages, visit people.
You feel he's lacking capacity under the presidency?
They have refused to give him the capacity to act. Do we need to win?
But don't you feel that as a vice president you do little or nothing? If the president is still active?
Yeah, he has been going on condolence visits and all those things.
A lot of comparison there. But let's look at the role of the Senate President, who is the chairman of the National Assembly. Many have said that it looks that the National Assembly is a rubber stamp, and if we also have principle of checks and balances in government, which the legislative had to checkmate the exercise of the executive, how would you assess it? And for 2025, what would you feel should be done differently? Because, for instance, the tax reform bill is already on the floor. It looks that the president and the Senate president, even members of some of the party, have taken side already against the North. The Northern senators or legislators are saying no to the bill, allowed us to do more consultation. And even the president said, oh, look, the AGF should meet with the National Assembly, should meet with the governors for them to see how they can resolve all of this. But it looks like they're already taking side. Do you feel that all of this does not give room for people to aggregate their views in respect to what is on the floor of the National Assembly?
Okay, let's take it one after the other. The issue of whether the 10th Assembly, as led by Senator Akpabio, is rubber stamped or not. If there is anything worse than rubber stamp, that's what that assembly is.
Don't you think they have to work together to get the results?
What? The legislative arm of the government is not supposed to be in bed with the executive arm of the government. You just said just now that the legislative arm of the government is supposed to provide checks and balances for the executive. If you are providing checks and balances for the government, do you think the government will like you? No, they won't. So, as far as I'm concerned, everything that is thrown into the 10th Assembly will be passed, whether good or not. Whether it is an anti-people bill or pro-people's bill, as far as it emanates from the presidency, they are going to pass it. So, whether you like it or not, the interest of the people do not really matter in the 10th Assembly, except for a few persons that we've seen that have been shouting and screaming on top of their voices that, look, no, what are we going to tell our people? But as far as the leadership is concerned, they do not care. Whatever makes the presidency happy is what they will do. So why should we take them seriously?
Their defense is that we don't have to be fighting with each other. We don't have to be quarreling with each other, but we can to see what we can do to better the economy and better Nigeria. That we don't need all of this drama that many past senators had.
The so-called years of drama and the ones that is without drama. In which of these Nigerians live their best lives? You see, sometimes people think Nigerians cannot think, or Nigerians have, overnight developed some sort of amnesia that they cannot think the reason past what has happened in the past. No, Nigerians are alert. In those years you call dramatic years, full of dramas, and the years that there is no drama, in which one did Nigerians live their best lives? Yeah, Nigerians know these answers. Nigerians are aware. So I do not believe in the 10th Assembly, just like many. I believe I speak for millions of Nigerians when I say we do not believe in the 10th Assembly as led by Senator Akpabio.
Because if you go to the House of Reps, I'll tell you that Speaker Abbas managing the interests, the population, all the number of the House of Reps we have. We've had many highest population members in the House of Reps for this time. It looks that it would have been so much crazy, but the Speaker is able to manage all of those interests. Don't you feel that is leadership enough?
Well, we spoke about the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, and therefore, what I think I must give credit to the Speaker Abbas, because he has been able. It's not easy to manage the Green Chamber because of diverse interests. There's about close to 360 members of different parties, different ethnic backgrounds, and he has been able to manage. In fact, he has shown more leadership acumen than the leadership of the red chambers of the National Assembly. So we must give him his flowers.
Moving forward, it looks that the elder statesmen of these nations are where their opinions, would you say matters, or would you say it doesn't matter? For instance, Obasanjo, he has announced that he has retreated or retired from politics, avoiding some crucial comment on national discourse, and also he's no more a member of People's Democratic Party. I don't know if your party has given him back the ticket in Ogun State for consultation on matters of politics. How do you feel that all of this role is important? Because sometimes he speaks, and the last he spoke was that for Nigeria to fight corruption must be fight from the head, down to the grassroots. That government should not start tackling issues of corruption from the grassroots. But presidency have responded to him, and all of those responses that came out. But I feel that Obasanjo still have a voice to be contributing to the affairs of the nation as we speak, compared to also look at Goodluck Jonathan. It looks like your party is telling Goodluck Jonathan to come back and get the ticket for 2027. I don't know how true it is, but your party, I think, refuted that statement. But all of that are what the people are looking back to. Oh, it looks like this person was better. Can we try this person? Can we try Goodluck Jonathan? Can Obasanjo have a say in the face of the nation? Because this is a Southwest government, and he has once been the president of the nation.
Well, for a war veteran and an elder statesman like General Obasanjo Okikiola Matthew Aremu, a former military president of the States, and of course 2 times democratically elected president of Nigeria, you cannot wish away his sentiments, his contributions and advices to nation building. But I would like to say something here, that for those who are good students of, you would have, there's some sort of cold war between the man there now and Obasanjo. The man there now has always modeled himself and positioned himself in manners that looks like though he is the political head of all time. Is the all-time political head of the Yoruba race and nation. If you look at his antecedents, if you look at how he has done his things, he has always moved in that direction, in that manner. Modeled himself as the all-time political head of the Yoruba race and the Westerners. And for some school of thought to tell you no, where did you keep the likes of the late sage Awolowo, the likes of Pa Adesanya? All these people, Obasanjo too can also lay claims to this very particular revered position. Having said that, now these are the reasons why you will see that the presidency will always want to run away from any kind of advice from the elder statesman Obasanjo. That is why you will see that a Tinubu's government will quickly run to the National Assembly and say, oh, we want to revert to the old national anthem. Why? Look at the history. The former national anthem, who adopted it into nationhood? It was General Obasanjo. So these are some of the little dynamics that good students of history will look at. Okay, no, this is where this is going to. So that is it. So whether or not Obasanjo has a say in nation building is immaterial at this moment, because this man will always wish it away. They will always take it with a pinch of salt and want to ridicule him and make him look like, no, you cannot speak to this man in this manner. So there's some sort of cold rift. Well, I say it's a battle of ego or thereabout. But I know the man Obasanjo that he doesn't even care about all these things. So Obasanjo has said it times without number that, look, I am more a Nigerian than I am a Yoruba man. I am first a Nigerian before any religion or tribe. He has said it several. So those who are hell-bent on making themselves look like, okay, they are the spiritual and political head of the Yoruba race, are just wasting their time.
Is this going?
Is how are you going to better the lives of Nigerians? How are you going to better the security situation of Nigerians? These are the conversation, and not one mere battle of supremacy and ego, imaginary battle of ego and supremacy. I've read in some. I am not. But as a part have more on our ship, why not? But as like I said, I am not aware that the party, as the leadership of the party, has written an official letter or extended the hand to the person of Goodluck Jonathan to come back to the party and run for presidency. I am not aware, and I am not even sure such things exist.
But it can work.
No, I say I'm not sure such things exist.
Is it possible to work?
Under the sun, nothing is impossible.
As a political
Possible.
Right. Get to look at just 1 week, former governor of Rivers State. I mean, it was very controversial for 2024, and those that are really looking at how all of these issues will be resolved in Rivers State, with looking at the fact that probably one hands in the PDP and also having a share within the IPC, that those are really having a concern about how they can resolve all of these issues first from Rivers State. And of course, his impact so far, his actions and impact within your party.
Well, thank you for that question. I think generally Nigerians can agree with me that there can never be two captains in one ship. And then it is also a known fact that you cannot serve two masters. And then let's begin from his home state of Rivers State. As far as the Constitution of Nigeria is concerned, it is clear there can only be one governor at a time. And whether we like it or not, no matter how we want to colorize it, no matter the name we want to give to it, no matter the angle we want to come at it, Governor Siminalayi Fubara is the governor of Rivers State. And the good people of Rivers State freely gave him that mandate. And I can authoritatively tell you that the good people of Rivers State are enjoying the dividends of democracy and are enjoying Simfubara. So, whether Wike likes try to throw stones and cast aspersions on the leadership of Governor Fubara in Rivers State, is not going to work. So I will admonish him as somebody that was once the leader in the party to please face his business in Abuja and leave people of Rivers State. Because let me tell you something, politicians do not believe, some politicians do not understand that there is life outside politics. Do not understand that politics is not an end, it is a means to an end. So on behalf of so many youths, I would like to appeal to Governor Wike. Enough of this charade, enough of all these troubles, enough of this shenanigans. Face his business in Abuja and leave the good people of Rivers alone. Let them enjoy what they voted for. Secondly, the question of whether Wike is a PDP member or not, as I speak to you, I do not know. But his actions has proven times and again that he is more an APC member than a PDP member.
But wrote to your party before you.
I did not see it. I did not see the letter. And even to I have not seen the letter. So we are only, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's hearsay. We have not seen the letter that, okay, this letter was duly signed by Minister Wike, that APC did this, APC did not say that. And then we would also Ambassador Umaru Damagun to show us the letter and also show us the response
of the party
to Wike. Of course, I will not be surprised because both of them are in bed together. Right. For accountability, the letter is public. So, as far as I'm concerned, as many youths in this country are concerned, this times and months have shown of PDP members every we've gotten members who do that.
All right, because I mean, to be again as we move forward, let's finalize the discussions. Looking at the youth unemployment, a major issue for August last year. Looking at the fact that there's a lot of concern about how they can restore public confidence, managing youth agitation. I'm not saying that it looks like it was possible. Written boldly on the faces of Nigeria. The outcry over that had done last year.
You see, like I said, the APC government has always been clear-cut idea, clear-cut direction. And then this is a clear case of bad governance at play. And so once Nigerians decide But as we speak till date, nobody has been able to come out with one person and say, oh, this, I'm come up with proof and say, look at this person was sponsoring protest. Let me tell you, the people, do you know the things that sponsored the last protest? Do you want to know the number of things that sponsored the last protest? Hunger.
There's not
Hunger was the major sponsor of the last protest.
they say some people lost out in the elections are trying to use the other.
These are always ways by which the government try to blackmail Nigerians. I just said it. The day one person with evidence and say, okay, Mr. XYZ paid so much amount, ABC amount to sponsor this protest. No, Nigerians were sponsored by hunger. Nigerians were tired of living like slaves in their own country, and that was why they moved out in their numbers to tell Mr. President that, look, we are hungry. In fact, in a Senate climb, protest of such magnitude, the following day, the irresponsible president would have resigned, because it's a shame and a slap.
I mean, it was a mix of feelings. We also saw people who protested to say no protest.
Giving Maggie and to those people. Did you see where they were giving money to people who trooped out to protest genuinely? Were we not in this country where APC gathered mechanics, artisans, and then one of the highest form of blasphemy that have ever occurred in Nigeria, sue them, gave them robes of priests and archbishops to go and endorse Muslim president? Are we not in this same country? We know these things.
But for 2025, we are not looking for more protests, because we saw the disruption of properties and anarchy that took place in all of those places.
The truth is this: nobody is praying for protest. There is nobody that wants to genuinely leave his home, the comfort of his home, and get to the streets of Nigeria and start protesting. But when you have no choice, when the hunger is biting, you look at your kids, you do not even feed them before they go to bed is a problem. Nigerians will be forced to move out on the streets.
Then they need to pay attention to that.
Then the government need to wake up and pay attention to issues like this, and not propaganda here and there.
So, I mean, a lot, looking at our public confidence, which is still a major problem, anger, and a lot of calls for Nigeria. But as we wrap up on the show, looking at about the role of governors forum, the Nigerian Governors Forum, because at the end of the day, many have said, 2024, we were talking of the presidency, we were blaming the president for almost everything. What are the state governors doing differently to help out the situation? Rather than being so much optimistic about the next election, can they start paying attention to the governors? Are you impressed about responses coming from the state? And for 2025, what would be your message and your concern to the subnational?
Well, save for a few governors that have really impressed me in this first year, especially, in the previous year, 2024. There are people like Bala. Bala has really impressed me, of course, by his stance on national issues. Of course, in terms
because he's supporting your faction.
No. I'm coming. Let me lay my foundation. The likes of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in terms of some developmental strides in Lagos State, have actually tried. Though he stands on some national issues, of course, we all know where his support is going to lie. And the likes of Governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Usman Ododo, have actually been...
Because you're from Kogi?
Yes. Not just because I'm from Kogi. If you know that the past 8 years...
But Kogi was in the news for 2024.
If you know that in the past 8 years, I was one of those that have stood up and vigorously opposed the maladministration of the then Governor Yaya Bello, you would have known that for me to be, commending Usman Ododo is a big thing, because he came out as a revelation. Nobody would have expected that someone handpicked by the previous governor would have, because Ododo he now appears to make governance in Kogi State really simple, and a lot of us are asking questions. Wait, is it not the same Kogi State that this man was governor? Look at the whole of Kogi State has become a construction site. For the 8
was construction abandoned in the state?
In fact, in the past 8 years, nothing was even happening in the state. It was so bad that directors were being paid stipends as take-home pay after the month. Here is a man not owing anybody one kobo. I challenge, I'm a PDP man, but I am telling the truth must be said at all time. There is nobody in Kogi State today. In fact, he has not only implemented the minimum wage, I think he's paying about 77,000 or thereabouts, and he pays promptly. He pays this December, he paid salary on 14th. Look, you people have worked, it is time to go and enjoy. So, these are governors that I think have really impressed me, but a whole lot more need to sit up. A whole lot more. Yes, the buck stop at the table of the president, but we must also not forget to call out the subnationals
for 2025. Because
this new year, we must begin to hold everybody.
How about the local government with the autonomy they have given to them? If funds have started, moving from Abuja to the different local government, would you feel they will have a role to play in our national tackle employment?
In the past, we used to see local government chairmen construct roads. We used to see councillors dig boreholes and all that. Now boreholes, senators, we're celebrating it. It was something councillors were doing in the past. And buy keke napep, and buy motorcycle, and start clapping and say, oh, I have done something for my constituents. For God's sake. For how long are we going to stop ridiculing our people? These are projects that are meant for the councillors and local government chairmen to undertake. So, with this local government autonomy, I want to challenge every Nigerian to begin to hold their local government chairmen and leaders accountable for every penny. So until we begin to hold everybody accountable, of course, we know that the APC do not want, in fact, the APC do not like to be drawn into the conversation of accountability because there is nothing to account for.
We 25, of course, attention we paid strictly to this role of the local and the subnational in getting things done. Thanks so much, David, for sharing your thoughts. We do hope that it will be a beautiful year of 2025, and we'll talk less, and then we'll see more things, get done in the country.
Yes, I really do hope that this new year is going to come up with a lot of goodies. And I also want to tell Nigerians that the PDP is primed to regain itself.
Well, we'll have that conversation. We'll have that conversation when the time comes. For now, we'll wrap it up here on the show, everyone. But we're still looking at paying attention for one talking point in the Senate, because the Senate will be looking at deliberation budget. More as a resumption will be, of course, passing the second reading. We'll also see the Senate continuing the activities of the tax reform bills, which was a problem and a concern in the chamber. The North and its political stakeholders appears to be against the bill. And the main question will be, what are the worries of the North? And of course, this year we're possibly looking at all of this consideration, the possible inequality in the sharing of the tax revenues and the issue of the value-added tax and all of this concern. We'll also be looking at the role of governors from the Nigerian Governors Forum. This is a forum that has been reshaping collective policies. We'll be looking at their roles in this year in moderating the trying times of this nation and how they can help to resolve many issues and act as a strong buffer link within the presidency on many occasions, and to look at how to get development back to the grassroots. INEC are now also serving for 2025. They are also embarking on the plans to carry out further electoral reforms based on many recommendations that they generated from the stakeholders' review of the 2023 general election. With elections for 2026, because INEC will begin preparation for some off-cycle election for the year 2026, but preparations will be ongoing for this year 2025. We're looking at what better ways of voter management, voter education, public education, political parties, candidate management, electoral operations, and all of those logistics management that has always been issues in our election. We do hope that 2025 will get better. How about the economy? Mr. President said dollar will be pegged at 1,500. We are still looking to see how all of these indicators will be fruitful for the year 2025. We hope that all of that will be the consideration of not just the government, but the role we have to play as citizens will continue to engage the government of the day. And of course, we live here on the Big Talk on Global Television will continue to do our best to bring that conversation very closer to you. My name is Dikan Michael. This is where we wrap it up tonight on the show. See you again.